think it'd be the big things that would bring a man back down. A birthday or the empty chair at Christmas or a sound. But it ain't the anniversaries or the photographs in frames. It's the small things, God, it's always been the small things with your name. The screen door at my mother's house still slaps the same as then. That same sharp metal music, and I'm 23 again. You always left before the dew had settled off the grass. I'd hear you in the kitchen, getting coffee for the flask. Then the hinges and the spring, and then the slap of wood on frame. That was the sound of morning, and the sound of you by name. I've oiled a lot of hinges in the years since you've been gone, but that one I've left rusted, 'cause it's all I've got to go on. A man stores grief in ordinary things he never planned, in the particular complaint of an old door's metal band, in the weight of a specific kind of silence that replaces sound. The screen door's done its singing, and there ain't nobody found. The screen door still sings your goodbye, same two notes it always played when you'd leave by. I can't fix what I don't wanna let go. Some sounds hold more than music, and the hurt ones know. Every time the summer wind comes pressing from the east, that old door talks to me. It don't know you're deceased. The screen door still sings your goodbye. And Lord help me, so do I. My son came by to fix the roof last April with his boys. He noticed how the screen door made its old familiar noise. He said, "Dad, I can fix that spring in 20 minutes flat." I told him, "Son, there's certain things you don't put a wrench at." He gave me that particular look that means he understands more than he lets on, then left the door exactly how it's always carried on. I've read that soldiers sometimes keep the sounds of other wars, that a backfire on a summer road can open up old doors. I think grief does the same with love. It catalogs the sounds, files them in the body where the intellect don't go its rounds. You're not a haunting, I want that made clear. You're more like a frequency that this house still holds near. The screen door still sings your goodbye, same two notes it always played when you leave by. I can't fix what I don't want to let go. Some sounds hold more than music, and the hurt ones know. Every time the summer wind comes pressing from They don't know you're deceased. The screen door still sings your goodbye. And Lord help me, so do I. Some evenings I just sit and let the breeze come through on its own. And I let that door sing once, just once, before I close. Before I close. We didn't build it fast, we built it right. Log by log in season, morning into night. First the fence post, then the garden, then the second room. And love ain't all at once, it mostly builds like bloom. We planted bulbs that wouldn't show their color for a year. I sunk the post when ground was cold, before the thaw was clear. We lost a crop in '79 to something in the rain. Sat together on the tailgate, didn't say a thing in pain. Just watch the fields go under in the same gray that had come before. And I knew that night I'd rather lose a harvest than a herd. You put your hand on mine at dark for words you didn't need. That's the kind of love that grows in thin and tired seed. They write the songs about the lightning, the thunder and the flood, but no one sings about the slow love, the patient kind of good. The love that shows up early and stays long after late. The love that knows the worth of time and gladly sits to wait. We built a life between harvest seasons, in the in-between of planting and the gathering of grain. Never needed big dramatic reasons, just the ordinary grace that keeps the love from going plain. 40 years of mornings, 40 winters making do. Every ordinary day a building block of you and me and true. We built a life between harvest seasons, and it's the finest thing that I have ever known. The kids are grown, the youngest one is out in Knoxville now. We walk the same back pasture in the evening with the cows. You've slowed a little, so have I. The knees don't love the hill, but we walk it every single night, and talk and always will. Last week you pointed at the ridge and said the color's changing good, and I looked at you instead of it, the way I knew I would. The young ones come out here in summer, full of fire and full of want. They ask me what the secret is, and and I give them what they don't expect to hear show up tomorrow. Then again the day after that, let love be where you live, not just the welcome mat. Plan for someone who hasn't even asked you for the fruit, and tend the years between the blooms. That's where love takes root. We built a life between harvest seasons, in the in-between of planting and the gathering of grain. Never needed big dramatic reasons, just the ordinary grace that keeps the love from going plain. 40 years of mornings, 40 winters making do, every ordinary day a building block of you and me and true. We built a life between harvest seasons, and it's the finest thing that I have ever known. The fields go gold again, as they've done each September day. Your hand in mine, the same hand. God, I'd have it no other way. No other way. No other way. They still talk about us at the dairy dip on Main, the way we'd share one milkshake in the summer heat and rain. Old Earl at the barber shop will bring this up to strangers passing through. There was a couple here, he'll say, and they were something true. We didn't know we were becoming something bigger than ourselves, just two kids building love while the whole town held its breath. There's a photograph behind the counter at the grain co-op door. It's from the harvest dance of '82, maybe '84. You're in that yellow dress with your head against my shoulder, and I'm the one with both arms out, like love can't hold me slower. Minnie Prewood says she keeps it up 'cause it reminds her what was real, that not all of the good things only live in how we feel. Small towns are the keepers of the stories that we leave. They press them into memory the way old timbers grieve. They keep the good ones longer than the people who were in them, and pin them to the walls of diners and of hymns. We were the kind of love small towns remember, the kind they name a picnic table after in the square. We were a thing that outlasted our own ending, still told to every stranger, still hung with honest care. You can leave a love, you can leave a town, but if it's real enough, it puts its roots down. We were the kind of love small towns remember, long after we forgot to remember ourselves. My nephew moved here from the city just last spring to find his ground. And a woman at the feed store told him all about us before he turned around. He called me laughing, said, "Uncle, you're a legend in this place." I told him legends are just loves that laugh before time could erase. He went quiet on the line. I think he understood that the town's worth living and hold tightly to the good. We didn't write it down, we didn't plan to be remembered here. We were just two people being honest through a lot of years. But honesty in a small town is a rare and noticed thing. People file it carefully, like the words to hymns they sing. So now we're part of someone's story when they learn what love is for. And I'd trade a lot of newer things to have been real once more. We were the kind of love small towns remember, the kind they name a picnic table after in the square. We were a thing that outlasted our own end, and still told to every stranger, still hung with honest care. You can leave a love, you can leave a town, but if it's real enough, it puts its roots down. We were the kind of love small towns remember, long after we forgot to remember ourselves. Somewhere tonight old Earl is in his chair, telling somebody new there was a couple here once, and they were something true, something true. If this song reminded you of a love story people still talk about, leave a like, subscribe, and join our country family for more unforgettable stories. And tell us in the comments about a love you'll never forget. I drove out to the hardware store on Tuesday afternoon, turned the radio down low, the way I do for you, to ask which station you wanted. Old habit from 1,000 miles. Then I looked across the bench seat, and you weren't there for miles. Your side of the truck still holds the ghost of everything you left. A hair clip in the door wheel, and the den above the rest. You always put your boots up on the dash, despite what I'd say. Now there's a scuff mark where your heel rested that I won't scrub away. The window on your side still rolls the way you liked it, halfway down, enough to let your hair go loose without the full wind in your crown. I drove an hour out of my way just to keep both windows right, so the air would move the way it did when you were still inside. I should sell this truck, a man told me it helped to move along. Buy something newer, something different, put the habit into song. But a truck that held you all those miles don't let a man sail easy. Some machines absorb a love and won't give it back that cheaply. Your side of the truck still feels empty, still tilts toward the window, like you might lean out and wait. I leave the AM dial on the station you would pick at. Some habits are too deep to scrape out of the grave. I carry you in miles now, and county roads and state lines, and every dash lit instrument, and every crossing sign. Your side of the truck still feels empty, and I ain't in any hurry to feel full. My daughter asked to borrow it last month to move some boxes west. I handed her the keys, and then I told her only this request: drive it careful, not the engine, but the space beside you there. There's something sitting in that seat that needs a gentle care. She gave the keys back with her eyes done red, and didn't say a thing, just put her arms around me in the driveway in the spring. I think a lot about the miles we put on this old machine together, that drives to the hospital, that drives through the November weather, the late nights coming back from Nashville with the heater running warm, your head against the window watching lightning from a distant storm. You told me once the truck felt more like home than any house. There's something in the moving of it kept you quiet as a mouse. Your side of the truck still feels empty, still tilts toward the window, like you might lean out and wait. I leave the AM dial on the station you would pick at. Some habits are too deep to scrape out of the grave. I carry you in miles now, in county roads and state lines, and every dash lit instrument, and every crossing sign. Your side of the truck still feels empty, and I ain't in any hurry to feel full. I pull back in the driveway as the porch light hits the hood, still reach to say we're home, same as I always would. Same as I always would.
The diner on the corner's got that amber window glow, the kind that promises warmth and something warm below. I slow the truck and count the silhouettes behind the glass, the way I have since you've been gone, the way I have since last. I know you're not in Waynesboro, you left for somewhere good, but hope don't always listen to the things it knows it should. The Christmas lights go up in early November here in town. The hardware store, the barber shop, the church on higher ground. I walk the square on evenings when the air gets clean and cold, watching couples and the families and the stories being told. Sometimes a laugh comes through a window that could almost be your own, and I hold it for a second, then I walk myself back home. It ain't a sickness, ain't a sadness, it's a particular kind of faith. The belief that people who meant something don't just fully fall from grace. That somewhere in the warmth behind the glass of any lit up room, the people that we love still live and breathe and carry their perfume. I still look for you in small town lights, in the windows of the Saturday nights, in the lantern at the hayride and the bonfire at the fair. In every golden doorway I half expect you there. It's a quiet kind of longing, not the tearing, screaming kind. Just a candle in the window of the back room of my mind. I still look for you in small town lights, and I wonder if you look for them in yours. I heard a woman humming in the bakery last fall. Same tune you'd hum while washing dishes, same soft rise and fall. I bought an extra coffee and sat down inside for a while. Not because I thought it was you, just to carry back your style. The woman never knew why the man by the window stayed so long. I just needed to be near someone who hummed your kind of song. There's a Japanese belief I read about in winter, that every firefly is someone checking in, that the lights we see in windows from outside in the cold are the living answering back to those who've had to go. I don't know what I believe in past the cornfield and the sky, but I light the porch light every night just in case it catches your eye. I still look for you in small town lights, in the windows of the Saturday nights, in the lantern at the hayride and the bonfire at the fair. In every golden doorway I half expect you there. It's a quiet kind of longing, not the tearing, screaming kind. Just a candle in the window of the back room of my mind. I still look for you in small town lights, and I wonder if you look for them in yours. The porch light stays on all night long. It costs me nothing at all. Just a small town light burning for a love I can still recall. Still recall. Ooh. Still recall. I was driving out past the Lapers Fork when the old song came in loud. Same piano intro, same guitar, it cut right through the crowd. Of all the static years between that summer and today, and I was 24 again, and you were in the way of everything I'd meant to do that evening at the fair. Standing by the funnel cakes with all that that auburn hair. We danced to it in Brenda Harper's kitchen on a Thursday night. The linoleum was sticky and the overhead too bright, but you looked at me like nobody had ever looked before, like I was something worth the trouble of the rest of what's in store. I can't hear that piano now without my chest doing that same thing, that particular kind of living that a memory can bring. They say that smell is the strongest road back to what has been, but I'd put music right beside it, maybe even in between. A song knows every doorway that your life has passed you through, and it will use them without warning, just to put you back with you. The radio still plays the summer we met, still finds its way into the things I can't forget. I don't call the station up to change the tune. There's something holy about music hitting you that soon. 4 minutes and I'm back inside that county air, with the August heat and fireflies and you standing right there. The radio still plays the summer we met, and for 4 minutes, darling, I ain't lost you yet. My doctor says the brain encodes our memories with sound, that the music from our younger years gets pressed into the ground of who we are more deeply than a language or a name. So when we hear it late in life, we feel the same. I told him, Doc, I think I knew that from the very start. The summer I met her, I heard music in my heart. I've asked the Lord before why He made music work this way, why a chord progression gets to take us back to yesterday. No answer comes, but maybe that's the answer. I suspect that time is not as final as we fear. It just deflects, that the people and the feelings we believed were gone from view are stored inside a melody, waiting to come through. The radio still plays the summer we met, still finds its way into the things I can't forget. I don't call the station up to change the tune. There's something holy about music hitting you that soon. 4 minutes and I'm back inside that county air, with the August heat and fireflies and you standing right there. The radio still plays the summer we met, and for 4 minutes, darling, I ain't lost you yet. Song and static fills the car, the highway comes back clear, but I'll be tuned to that same station every time I'm near. Every
every time I'm near.
I've carried a lot of weight in my time. Some of it was good, some of it was dead and weather and the things I misunderstood. But there's a kind of weight that doesn't tire out a man. It sits between the shoulders like something that was planned. You became that kind of burden, not a burden, more a gift that I took up somewhere in my 20s and never thought to live. I carry you to places you have never had occasion to be, to meetings in tall buildings, to the coast, to the surgery. I brought you to my daughter's wedding in the pocket of my heart, when the music started playing and the flower girls from the start. I thought of how you'd weep, how you'd squeeze my hand and lean, and the carrying of you made me more than I would have been. There's a kind of love that doesn't ask to be remembered fresh each day. It just settles into the bones and stays along the way. It don't demand attention or a monument or a name. It just makes you someone better than you'd otherwise became. You became my favorite memory to carry, light enough to bring along on every road I've known. Not a sorrow, not a heaviness, more like a benediction, a blessing that I take with me wherever I have gone. Someday I'll lay this body down in Tennessee red clay, but I'll carry you across whatever comes beyond that day. You became my favorite memory to carry, and I'm thankful I was built with room enough for you. People ask me sometimes why I smile at nothing in particular, why my eyes go somewhere else when the sunlight goes vehicular, turns golden long across the floor, the way it does at 4. I never try to explain it, there are things explaining can't restore. I just say it's a good thought, and they nod like they've had one. And somewhere you are laughing in the country of the sun. I don't believe in haunting, but I do believe in presence, the way some people leave a residue of grace. You polished up the rougher parts of me by just being near, and I've been living off that polish year to year. They talk about the love that breaks you open, rips you wide, but what about the love that quietly fills you up inside? You became my favorite memory to carry, light enough to bring along on every road I've known. Not a sorrow, not a heaviness, more like a benediction, a blessing that I take with me wherever I have gone. Someday I'll lay this body down in Tennessee red clay, but I'll carry you across whatever comes beyond that day. You became my favorite memory to carry, and I'm thankful I was built with a room enough for you. Thank you for the carrying room you gave inside my chest. Of all the things I've ever borne, you were the very best.